Fred, what have you found out about how to wire your turnouts for DCC?
We can still route power through the frogs, and I won't have to do anything with the feed that I have now, because I take it off the rails behind the points, and I feed the power to the frog. When the tortoise flips back and forth, it picks it up and directs it so that the points are not conducting electricity, they're mechanical. However, what we will have to do is, if we want all the tracks ahead of the frog to be live, we just have to put gaps somewhere between the frog and the track. It can be right close to the frog, or it can be on the track. It'll just keep it so that all the tracks, we want all the tracks to be live all the time. If I didn't, I could just do nothing and just run my wires the way they are. But we really want to have all tracks in the yard or anywhere else alive, so that if we've got a train sitting there waiting to go, he's not dead. He might sit there with his headlights on and sit there and making his sounds, waiting for the other train to pass him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good news, because that saves a lot of work. And in order to do some of the gapping and do some of the other wiring, I'd have to lift my switches up and to make them look like a current Walthers product with a dead frog.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not doing that. So we're good to go. We made a little test deal here just to prove that it works.
Okay, let's see what you did here.
Okay. So anyway, here's the way the whole layout's wired. We've got a wire on the south track, and then we got a north track, and then right now the frog is getting its power from the north track through the switch machine, and the red wires that I have on my tortoise machines are all consistent, and that's the wire that goes to the frog. And so once we change directions, and I've got to do this manually because I don't have a switch on here. It's not a powered one. So once I turn this and I flip the switch and it runs the switch over, now we're taking the power from the south to the frog. So it'll always be live, and it's all the way back. So this is feeding power back this way, this is feeding power this way, and so the chances of not having any juice in that little point because of dirt or something is almost doesn't happen. So now we can just send our little unit and give them a little power and let them run right on through the switch. And so as he runs through, the switch, now if I were in this situation, because I'm routing power, if I were to reverse the power, and now I'm going to the other track, that track is dead.
That's why you have to.
So that's why we have to cut gaps in these rails, and then we'll put feeders on
keep
those
it going.
to keep it going.
Yeah, gotcha.
So then once I want to,
and that's true no matter which way you go.
Exactly.
On the route here.
There he goes. I just hold him back because I don't want to run him off the track. So anyway, that was good news, because that's going to save us a lot of work in this.
So that means you can go around to each area, cut a couple of gaps.
Yep.
And we're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Ready to go. I know this was the biggest question in your mind.
It was, because
what are you going to do about this since your turnouts are already installed?
Right.
But we found out that the way they're wired was going to work with just a few modifications on top.
Yes.
Excellent.
So none of the feeder wires that go to the tortoise machine have to be reversed, have to be changed in any way. It's just a matter of putting power to the tracks in front and behind.
Yeah,
And the only place we have to gap is in front.
you're right. Fred, I see that you have some supplies that came in. You want to explain them to us?
Okay, well, I found, been watching some videos of people constructing their layouts and so forth, and a couple of the, at least one person came up with a power supply it's manufactured by Meanwell. It's in a Meanwell, and it's a 15 volt, 14 amps it rates on it. So what that person did is he was able to connect two Digitrack boosters to it. It's using the model 220, which has two built-in districts in it, and each side has to have a power. So one of these power supplies will power that one booster. And so since I'm going to be using two of the DBS 220s, that gives me 4 power districts. I bought 2 of these Meanwells, and that way I can power those 4 together. The other 2 districts that I'm going to have the command station and another district. I have a DB 210, which is I think I'm using the right word. Yeah, DB 210. That's a single power supply, so I'm going to use a Digitrack power supply to power the 220 or the 210 and the command station. So where you got all the power supplies accounted for, and so I've got the cables, and then for the bus wire, we're going to use 12 gauge wire throughout. So I got a bag of the Scotch lock suitcase connectors to tap on the bus wire, and then off to the feeder wire to the tracks. We can use that. And then we have these neat little Wago connectors, and all you do is have to put the wire in the 2 holes, and you push them down, and they're connected. You don't have to strip the wires or anything. It looks like I don't.
Just bites into them.
Bites into them, I think.
Yeah.
So got a box of those. That'll take it from the 12 gauge bus wire down to the feeder wire that goes to the track.
Mm-hmm.
And so these will handle 12 gauge to 24 gauge, and 24 gauge I believe is the wire that I've got under my track right now, my feeder wires now. So, and then I got some cable, just some cable clamps. I'm going to try those out. They got you can stick those up on the wood, onto the frame, and you can put a little screw through there to really make sure it's secure. And then you slip this in, and that locks in, and you've got your cable locked in there. And you can always come back and you can remove it if you have to.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. It's not
Keep your wiring organized.
unlike sometimes with tie wraps. If you try to do something with a tie wrap, once you pull a tie wrap, you can't release it.
Cut it open.
You got to cut it open, start all over.
Yeah.
So that's what we've got, and I've ordered wire, waiting for the wire that should show up next week, and then we're going to start the work.
Start to work, yes, sir. Tell me what this pipe is.
Oh, that pipe is that's how I get my bus wires for my DC from the throttles up on top, so I can power my tracks.
So that's a
up on
wire
top.
conduit.
That's a wire conduit.
Which can come out under DCC.
Well, yeah, but there'll be new bus wires for the upper level.
So there just won't be as many wires in it.
Right.
Maybe you can put in a smaller one.
So anyway, it's
Yeah.
it's nice and big and it can feed. So
Yeah, yeah.
because I have an extra wire, I've got wires up on top. I've got there's a yellow wire that feeds the power to the switch machines, the black wire which is the ground, and then I have a purple wire and a brown wire that don't do anything, and they terminate on the floor. One was set up in case we want to do signaling, and the other wire was going to power light bulbs that we may or may not put in buildings. So for future. So
Yeah.
I think the purple was for that, and then the brown wire is going to be used for signaling.
So what changes for DCC are you going to have to make right here to the turntable and the roundhouse?
These are the tracks that are in the roundhouse. These are the storage tracks that are outside. And if you have all the engines on here and you have sound, say you had sound in all of them, it would be an overwhelming sign if they're all idling.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be running.
And they shouldn't run them all anyway.
While they're being
because you're taking amperage too, and you're taking power out of the thing. So this way we can flip them off and maybe leave one or two on the idle if you want, and so that wouldn't change there.
And the only reversing situation you have
is right here in the turntable, and that's got its own power feed too.
Yeah.
So we'll somehow interrupt that
Connect an AR1 to the turntable.
to the turntable, yeah.
Automatically reverse the polarity when you use their turntable.
There's two mains up there, and so all that comes away, and then the only thing that'll be left up here will be the switches for the turnouts.
Right.
You know, which is interchange track or switch lead, and then there's a double crossover over there, and
So this right here is another place for a blank panel after this is removed.
this is a track selector for the turnouts in this ladder. So this is how I track. You start on the third track back from the wall. That's the outside main, the inside main, and this one right here is track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right down to 12. And so when I want to go to track 9, for instance, I just flip that, and my turnouts move.
Automatically route you
Automatic
to it.
route, so
that can stay.
that'll stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's stay. And there's another panel like that on the other end. That's a double crossover on the main between the two mains, and that way I can cross over there. So I can park trains in different spots, and it's going to be really neat. I think with DCC, it's going to be more fun because I can have more trains when I'm running a session. I can have them sitting in places while other trains pass one another, and I don't have to worry about what throttle I'm on.
Right.
It's going to be.
Yeah.
So here's the selector on the other end, right there, and then this is for the west engine facility, which is this track all the way down.
block control, so
And
that'll
block
come out.
control that goes away.
That all goes away. So and you're going to be tearing all the underneath wiring that's DCC or DC,
Yeah.
DC related out.
And there's a lot of
And
wire
there's
under
a
there.
bunch of it right here.
Well, there's a lot of wire just associated with the DIN plugs because they're in series. So
Yeah.
you start out from the throttle, you go to this DIN plug, so you got a cable coming in here, and then it goes back out, and then it goes to the next DIN plug and down. So there's a lot of wire.
It gets rid of a lot of
wire.
Yeah,
There's all this stuff connected just for one DIN plug. So this
See
is
if I
one
can get
DIN plug, and then there's another DIN plug, and there's the other DIN plug. You got 6 wires right behind that plug,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's 4 wires inside
All
the
that can
casing.
come out and go away. And this board under here, let's see if I can get down here to it.
Yeah, that's got all my
Various power supplies for
my power, so I got those are those are 5 amp power. That's AC coming into the throttles. The throttle the throttles, those walk-around throttles actually convert the AC to DC as part of the circuitry in that board.
Yeah.
Didn't need a separate
So that entire board
rectifier.
that entire board
goes away.
goes away.
Yep. Yeah, the only thing gets left is that there's a power supply there on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and that one of that power supplies is for the tortoise switch machines.
Yeah. Oh, so that's a good point to make. All the tortoise switch machine wiring will stay,
Yeah.
but it's relatively simple.
And it doesn't actually, there may be one or two spots where I'm going to have to, I may have a feeder wire coming off the bus. One of these wires down here, one of the bus wires. So the red to green, green, and blue. One of them may have a connector to the feeder, which I'll have to disconnect. But that's feeder wire changing. That's nothing to do with routing the power.
Right.
So, and I probably, we'll have to see how we want to feed that. Because I probably with the DCC I can independently feed the wire.
Most of this stuff right here is related to block control, which will all
Yeah.
be coming out.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much wiring you have to have for DC.
Oh yeah.
DCC, much simpler wiring.